here. Hit my brother up. Eric, oh, we just going live. We just going
live. That's all right. It's all good. We are live.
We just going live. So I did all that for nothing, brother.
It's all good.
We're going to bring it back.
Bring it back. Turn it up. Turn it up.
KRS-One, My Philosophy. One of the guests used to rock out to this when he came out on the hoop court. When the Lights Go Out basketball edition.
Episode 4.
We don't own the rights, but we love the song, so we're going to play it.
Yes, indeed.
What you said, brother? What's the episode?
Episode number 4.
Episode number. Woo, brother, 4 weeks go fast, man.
Bruh, super fast. But I'm going to tell you what. I'm having a blast, man. Especially tonight. We got a heck of a crew coming up right now, man. We got a couple cats backstage.
Yeah, and then there's one that's gonna pop in on us. But yeah, and again, man, it's Thursday, 8 p.m. when the lights go out. We appreciate you checking in with us. When the Lights Go Out basketball edition brought to you by Height Apparel. Shout out to my brother Eric Walker. Height Apparel, go check it out. The fly spring gear, you know what I'm saying? Height Apparel. When the lights go out, go check it out. HeightApparel.com. Eric Walker on Facebook. Height Apparel on IG. Go check it out. Go support. He got some fly stuff. So
I can't wait to get my swim trunks. My swim trunks, brother.
Oh man, you wild, brother. You wild. What's up, everybody checking in? Thanks. Please comment. Please comment. We want to hear from everybody when the lights go out. What's up, brother? How are you?
Brother Mike. Oh, I'm good, man. I'm excited, man.
I'm excited too, man. I'm excited too. We're not gonna hold our guest up any longer. We try to do a good job of bringing people on who make sense, really, who got a connection to us, who we want to give flowers to, who we want to thank. There's no age limit to it. There's obviously no. It just has to do with, do you have a connection to us and to the people and to just make us better as a whole. What's up? My sister is checking in. What's up, sis? What's up, B Green? Appreciate y'all checking in. But without further ado, got 3 people, but 2 are here right now. Without further ado, when the lights go out, we got a man who was very instrumental in the 90s with Woodland Hills basketball, college basketball, from Robert Morris to Marist College to Polk State. He helped a lot of us. If you know the 15104, if you know the legends of Rankin, he knows them all. He know your family. He know your uncle. He know your grandfather. He probably played ball with him, baseball and everything else. So without further ado, when the lights go out, I want to welcome Coach Matt Furjanic to the show.
Coach Furjanic.
What's up, Coach? We're going to bring you in. What's up, Coach?
It was so wonderful when you invited me to come on, and when we had the conversation, and we talked. It's been a while. We hooked up on Facebook, but to actually talk to each other. And Marcus, man, I go back to you when you're about 7 or 8 years old.
Right.
And just to see the how successful you both are, it just brings a lot of joy to my heart. Because we're all grew up in the same area. And we're all from Rankin and 15104. And to me, there's nothing like it. It's funny. I went to DeSala's Pizza today on the way home, and I saw Ruby Grant, and I haven't seen her in years. And I said, Ruby, and she went, Matt. And there we are talking in DeSala's and Homestead,
That's crazy.
so you never lose that love for your hometown or the people you've known, and Rankin has just meant so much to me, and I mean, everywhere I go, I always said I never said I'm from Pittsburgh. I said I'm from Rankin. And Del, you did the same thing. And I want to also shout out to Ewan Price. He did the same thing. You know, when he played at Pitt and he went to the NFL, he had the hometown. It was Rankin, PA, and that just brought chills when I saw that. You know, so
shout out to Diddy, man.
Yeah, that's big, Coach. We appreciate you. We're gonna give you your flowers throughout the hour. We're gonna ask you some questions to get some feedback and get some answers from somebody who's been through it. You coached for 40 years, so you got a lot of wisdom, and we're gonna pick your brain. But Coach, when we bringing people in, you know, I'm like the announcer right now. So I'm calling up my 2 guard, and he's 6'4", 210 pounds, from Rankin, Pennsylvania. None other than Deontae Robertson.
Didi!
What's up, Didi? We're going to bring you in. What's up, Didi?
What's up, Didi? What's good, man?
What's up, fellas?
Brother? How are you,
How
man?
everybody?
My man.
I'm good. Blessed to be on the show.
I hear that, bro. We proud of you, man.
Listen, we are very, very, very proud of you, young brother. That's why we got you on this show. Just seeing the big smile, I got chills on my arms. Like I'm watching Coach to the right of me on the screen. I'm watching you to the left of me, and I'm watching just generations of Rankin. People don't know much about Rankin, but tonight they're gonna learn a little bit about 15104 and where we from, and like how that small little spot got so many unbelievable athletes. And I don't want to just talk Rankin because I'm not just from Rankin. My family's from Braddock as well, North Braddock, Swissvale. So that whole area is just an amazing place with talent. And hey, Didi, man, brother, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Didi.
No, thank you for having me, for sure.
It's crazy, man, how we looking at Didi, man. I remember when Didi was born, man. You know, so it's like looking at this man, he got a full face of hair, and man, I just seen you how you grown over the years, man, and you matured. You know, your parents done a great job, man, with you, man. Never heard anything bad about you. You always been insightful for the younger guys and the younger girls as well. You've just been a great role model for the kids in the community, man. So I applaud you, man. And if you ever need me, man, I know it's just the beginning of the show, but if you ever need us, man, you know, let us know, man. We got you.
Yeah, I know I gotta come to y'all for advice always.
Yeah, that's my guy. Hey, listen, Mark, you couldn't have said it any better, man. He comes from good stock, man. His grandmother. Hold on, because I got a little message for y'all. So listen, hold on. I got my guy coming in, and Didi, I had somebody inspire me. Like hopefully, when you seen me and you seen older cats before you, they inspired you. And this man right here, they know him for basketball, but he also was a beast on the football field. He was a beast on the football field. Listen, and hold on, I'm getting my TNT back on. 6'1". When he played, he was probably about. Now I see
180.
185. I was gonna give him.
Yeah.
6'1", 185. The legend. He held the scoring title at Woody High for so long until you young cats broke it. None other than Townsend State great Mick Keys. What's up, Mick
Keys?
Thank you, fellas. Thank you.
What's up, my brother? Hey, we got 5. We taking on anybody right now.
Hey, I would play with this guy. For sure.
Coach Keys, what's up?
Sure.
Mick,
he was young.
Even coach.
Yeah. Listen, hey, look, if we was young, we would have something good right here, man.
Yeah. For sure.
Listen.
Mike Keys, man. Listen, for the people that don't know who Michael Keys is, not only is he our big brother and a role model, but man, this dude was he was Del Rico Fletcher before Del Rico Fletcher.
Yes,
the boy could play football and play basketball, and believe it or not, Coach Novak didn't really he knew Mick was a baller, I ain't gonna get into it, but Mick, we know.
Let's keep it all up.
He could have been Del Rico Fletcher before Del Rico Fletcher. And,
we just started the show, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
We don't want to lose no viewers just yet.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
We don't.
But Mick, man, we happy to see you, man.
Appreciate it, Mick. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, guys. Much love to y'all. Thanks for doing this, because it's a good platform, a great platform, and people need to hear everybody's story, because there's a lot of different stories from Woodland Hills, and a lot of people don't know all the stories. They just know, the ones that kind of made it through the pros, but there's a lot of different stories, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll a lot of times we'll jump off, and like last week, I want to shout out to my brother Reggie Stevens, because he checked in the comments as well. We'll always really show the reach of sports and bring other people on who aren't connected to Woodland Hills or Pittsburgh, but the stories are similar. The hard work, the grind, the really wanting it, the dedication. Like, we want to share these stories so that young athletes understand. Listen, you don't become LeBron James because you wake up and say, I want to be LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, for Mick to go to Townsend from Swissvale, he had to bust his behind.
I seen the first time. Man.
Yeah, so
I seen the work ethic.
Yeah, we gonna get into it, man. I just want to say, I appreciate all three of you men. You've inspired me all in three different ways. Coach, you was the one who kicked me in the butt if I wasn't right. Mick, you was the one who made it tangible to dream and really touch your dreams. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if you know that, Mick, what you did for a lot of us. You made college a reality. You made being a good player a reality. Like, and it wasn't just football in our area, because you put it down in basketball. And so from somebody who followed you, somebody who watched you, somebody who wanted to have a crossover just like you, I still remember how low you used to get on that crossover. And and like I said, when you came on, you had the scoring title at Woodland Hills for so long, with your name being that number one spot. And I just used to always want to shoot for that. So I want to thank you for giving me something to aspire to chase, to dream big. So from me, I know from Mark, from a lot of us in my era, man, we say thank you, brother.
Man, thank you, Nick.
No
I
doubt,
appreciate it.
no doubt.
Listen, I grew up.
Thank you, guys.
For people that don't know, I grew up
Thank
right
you,
next door. I grew up right next door to Mick, man. I'm talking about right next door. His house was right next door to mine, and just watching how he. I learned a lot from Mick, man. Work ethic, just staying out of trouble and being a leader, and it's just a lot. So I grew up with Mick on my left, and I grew up with Melvin Cobbs. For a lot of you guys that don't know, Melvin's probably one of the, if not the best running back to ever play at Woodland Hills. So I grew up with Mick on my left and Melvin on my right. So it was just like, and Terrell Green right up the street. So it was just
shout out to T Green.
Yeah, I grew up with those guys in my neighborhood. So it was just, it was a marker for me, and they led the way, man. And I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you, Mick, man. I love you to death, man. Thank you.
And listen,
I want to add one more name from that Collingwood. Let's not forget Darren Poindexter.
Darren, rest in peace, Big Dex.
Big Dex. We was definitely going to show our respects to Dex, because he also was somebody we all looked up to. And he had that Hercules kind of look. Like, if you cross him, he gonna snap you in half. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When he set a screen on you, you knew you got screened. Like, it was real. So, shout out to Dex, man, and his family, man. There's some news going around, and I'm not going to spoil all of it, but there will be something big going on at Collingswood, for Dex. So, in the near future, look out for that. And when it happens on the show, we'll let it be known. So rest in peace, Big Dex, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Hey, let me say something about Big Dex. Like, you guys spilled the beans about me and talked about me like that. That's the same way I felt about Big Dex. Big Dex made it possible for me to believe that I could go play at a university, a Division I university, and play basketball. A lot of people don't realize I probably would have never played basketball at all if it wasn't for Big Dex. I was up Collingwood just playing like a little kid, and they needed one more player, and he called me onto the court to play. And from that point on, my love for basketball started. But I was a football guy, like you were saying, Del Rico. Like I was in the football. Everybody that knows me as a kid, I was more in the football. My parents was in the football, and that's what I did. So all the love in the world for Big Dex. Hurts my soul that he's not with us, but I know he's in a better place.
Yes.
And I appreciate him just like how y'all talked about me. I'm the same way with Big Dex. Big Dex was everything to me. That was my first mentor and hero and somebody that I looked up to as a kid. And he was the first one. And he showed me work ethic and how to carry yourself and how to do things on the basketball court and off the court. One of his big things that he always talked about was get to know people at your university other than your basketball players. So Dex was a big influence, man. And anybody that knows Collingwood or knows anything about Collingwood knows that he was everything for us up there. So I appreciate him and I salute him at this time.
Yes. Listen, he dropping jewels for you. These is what we got to dig, and we might have to critically think, and we might have to peel back the layers. But when you on a sports team, you got to come out that locker room. You have to come and meet people who are regular students so you networking, you building relationships. This thing is bigger than basketball and football and sports. You know, the sport may have brought you there, but your connections may lead you to somebody who's running the whole NBA. You might not just be a player. You might be an executive. So we don't want to cut ties. We want to build relationships. So, man, shout out to Big Dex for giving you, game like that even back then.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No.
And then listen, lastly, we got the young fella of the bunch, and the young fella of the bunch, he you know how young people do. They give you life. They give you energy. They make you stay on your P's and Q's, man. They make you check yourself, because like in sports, we all know the eye in the sky is always watching. Film don't lie. And young people are just like that. So they always watching. So, I used to see this young fella grinding every day. I mean, school, got his little brothers with him, pulling them along like a book bag, and had a love for just getting better every day. And listen, Didi, I got so much love and respect for you, young fella. And when you get older men, sometimes they won't tell a young person something like that, man. But here on this show, we giving flowers, we giving love, we trying to send you positive energy, man. And listen, we thank you, we appreciate you, and I got so much love and respect, man. And I want you to do so well, man, for yourself. I want you to take ranking to the next height, man. You know what I'm saying? I want you to take your brothers to the next height, man. So just keep working, young fella, man, and we really, really appreciate you for being on the show.
I really thank y'all for real though. Like this is beyond a blessing for me, because like it gives me a chance to be on here and talk to y'all about like my life, just what I've been going through. And I want to inspire people to like don't be afraid to be yourself out there. Like don't be afraid to step into the light or whatever. Like just be yourself, and like great things will come always.
Right.
Yeah. And you've been through a lot, Didi. We know the story. I mean, when I think of your name, I always think of perseverance, because you went to community college, then you went to Slippery Rock first, and now you're at Edinburgh.
Yes, sir.
And to travel that, give us a little bit of insight on, how that road has gone, and some of the bumps in the road that somebody younger may be able to, you may be able to give them the game to watch out for and look out for.
I mean, I feel like JUCO, don't get discouraged, because like a lot of people have like these dreams of going D1 straight out of high school, and it's not to bust your dream or anything, but not everybody gets the chance to go D1. So like you got to understand that and find out a better route for you, like what's best for you. You don't have to be the best at everything or whatever. You don't have to be the best at basketball, go D1. Like I'm out of D2 right now. Like there was times where I was in JUCO, like questioning should I even play basketball because like this is not where I wanted to be right now. But like at the end of the day, God got a plan for everybody. So like just stick to your plan and stick to what you got to do. And like I know it's hard going from JUCO to a D2 school and then transferring out because they think you wasn't good enough or whatever. Like I got my scholarship pulled last year from Slippery Rock. So that's why I'm at Edinburgh now. And I would say that was probably like the lowest of lows I've ever been like dealing with basketball and stuff because I really felt like they didn't want me and I felt like my talents was just going to go to waste because like I felt like I wasn't good enough to play at the level. I wasn't good enough to contribute to the team. So like at that point, I was getting down on myself, but I got people in my corner who supported me through this whole journey who was telling me like, you got a better future for you ahead. Like this is not your only stop. This is not the stop for you. Like you got a better future. So like I got guys like you guys telling me like, I can really do it. So like I believe in myself and I know that y'all believe in me. So I believe I can really do it.
You better believe we believe.
That's amazing, man. The thing is too that they don't realize about playing in Division II basketball, football, whatever sport. If your dream is to play in a on another level, if you're good, they're gonna find you. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Find you. If you're good,
they can find you. NBA is not the only. It's not the only professional league that you can get to.
Nope. So you keep plugging, man. Keep plugging. Keep pushing.
So there's plenty of ways to get there.
And let me tell like some of the people that are listening about Dede. Dede was one of the players, and this is how I knew Dede was serious about going and playing college basketball. Dede would go to football practice and practice in football. This is what a lot of people don't know. But then he can keep his basketball skills up to par. He would come and work out with the basketball team or just with Coach Mike Chancey on his own. Not even with the team, on his own. A lot of people just think Dede's where he's at because of his athletic ability. Dede put the work and time and effort into it and went all out for it and went and got what he wanted. That's why he's in the position that he's in.
Dede could be one in football. People don't realize that. Dede was playing tight end, right? You playing tight end?
Yeah.
Listen, I went to a game, no lie. Went to a scrimmage, and they threw him the ball down the middle of the field. He went up and got it, went over everyone, got it, ran over 3 or 4 people, and then I hear Dede's just going hoop, man. I said, oh, but just, like Mick said, he put in the work, man. He's a phenomenal.
Let me just say this. I think me and Coach Chancey might have convinced him to hoop.
Yeah.
He was a heck of an athlete. He could have did whatever he wanted to do, though. He could have did whatever he wanted.
Guys, I'd like to make a comment here about Deontae, okay? Deontae, you made a comment about Division II, okay? And I just want people to know, I've coached the different levels in college, and people don't realize there's only 5%, less than 5, a little less than 5% of the high school players in the country, the seniors, will go on to play any level of basketball. There's teams at the D level that could beat some D1 teams on certain nights. So, when Deontae says he's playing Division II, that's an honor. Division II is legit. I mean, there's some Division schools that will beat Division I schools. So don't ever say, I'm only at this level now. Man, you're playing college basketball. You're doing something 95% of the other seniors in the country have not had a chance to do. So by you out there representing yourself and your school, and you went from Slippery Rock, there was coaching. When there's coaching changes, there's always players. But you found a place in Edinburgh, and they love you there. And I'll tell you what, we're going back on this and realize Division II is a hell of an opportunity. You're following 2 Woodland Hills good players also, and Michael Johnson and Ian Johnson are both played at Edinburgh.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, Coach gave a great segue to. I want to ask Nick a question. In 1995, Nick, you were a senior, am I correct, at Townsend?
No, I would have been a sophomore or junior that year.
Okay, so what year? Because Coach said a Division II, some of these Division IIs could beat some of the Division I's, and you played at a school that actually beat Louisville at the time you were there. Am I correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And Townsend being a smaller D1 school, how was that feeling? What was it like to? I mean, because Crum was the head coach at Louisville, right?
Yeah. They had a pretty good team. They had an NCAA team that year. We beat them. Now, just to give you a little background on that, basically Louisville added us to their schedule in the middle of the year. They needed one game to make sure they could qualify for the NCAA tournament. So our coach was smart enough to make sure they came to Towson to play us.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. We had a real good team also. So we was looking forward to playing Louisville. All my boys from Swissvale, Rankin, they were all at that game.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna be honest. We kind of expected to beat Louisville that year because of the team we had, and with them coming to Towson to play us, which teams wouldn't do. It was like winning the national championship, bro. I'm gonna tell you, everybody rushed the floor. I felt like we just had a special on that with my school. I felt like that we won the national championship, man. It was that fulfilling. It was that fun. You can't describe that feeling, man. It was something that was really really fulfilling. It felt like all the hard work you had put in finally paid off because we got to beat a big school,
right?
Like Louisville. Now I'm gonna tell you this too. As a freshman, we beat St. John's at St. John's in the preseason NIT.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's impressive.
Yeah, as a sophomore, we beat West Virginia, and then my junior year is we played, or actually later on in my sophomore year. My sophomore year, we beat West Virginia and we beat Louisville in that year. So we beat two big name schools that year. So Towson. We were, when I got to Towson, we were getting to the point where we wanted to beat those bigger schools, and we finally were getting the opportunity to beat them.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
That was probably. I remember as a kid. My dad putting us in the car and taking us to, I think, Hershey, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry, I'll be
Nick was playing against UConn. And UConn had Johnny Marshall and Danielle Marshall. And then a little kid shooting on the sideline, man. That was crazy, man. Watching Nick play against, even I seen him play against UMass. I think it was we had Marcus Camby and all them. So we played against You played against some talent, man, and just being a little boy watching that, I said, if Mick could do it, I could do it, man. And that was one of my dreams, man. So that was amazing.
So let me ask Coach, let me ask you a question. Now it's basketball and football right now. College, the recruiting aspect and everything, it's a lot different. We had COVID and that kind of thing, but everybody's able to enter transfer portals and that kind of thing. Nobody really wants to seem to stick around or stay. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, to each his own. But you as a coach and having to recruit, how hard is that when it comes to recruiting? That everybody is now, you have the colleges versus now am I recruiting high school kids? Can you take us in a little bit and give us a little insight of how that might work?
Well, number one, the high school kids this year are really going, I mean, it's unfortunate, but they're getting a bad break this year because with the NCAA adding a fifth year to eligibility, a lot of coaches are not recruiting freshmen. They're going into the transfer pool to recruit upperclassmen because, coaches are paid to win. So if your team was 500 your conference and, the team is coming back for another year and they're 500 and the other team, there might be 4 or 5 teams ahead of you, and you're trying to keep your job. Well, you're going to go for transfers instead of freshmen. And this year, it's really a tough situation for all seniors in high school because it's unfortunate, but they're not going to be recruited as much as seniors in the past. Now, of course, you have your great ones, your fives and your five minuses, and maybe your 4 pluses will go D1. But a lot of players are going to have to, settle for either, a different level of Division I, or maybe even going to the prep route, which if you're not good enough, you have to pay maybe $25,000, $30,000 a year, or go to junior college for a year to try to get that experience and then go back to, try to have a chance at Division I again. And as a coach, you have to do what you have to do to win. That's what they pay you for, and there's a lot of pressure there. So when you're recruiting, you're not going to go after 4 freshmen this year, because your seniors aren't leaving you. And the ones that are leaving you are probably either were the better players that maybe, depends what level you were at to step up, or, they're going down to Division II or another level to Division III to play. So you can't recruit freshmen to come in when everyone else is going after transfers. There's close to 1,500 Division I transfer players in the portal this year. So when you look at 350 Division I schools, that's almost an average of 4 per school of players entering the transfer portal. And then you have another 800 plus Division II players going into the transfer portal. Some of those D2s may go up to Division I, and some of those D2s may not get a scholarship. So Deontae, is very fortunate that he has an opportunity that Edinburgh wants him, because there's players that are not being returned to their schools. And we talked before we got on the air about these players. The Division I was just told by a good Division I basketball coach, a friend of mine, that there were 65% of the players that entered the football transfer portal that did not get a scholarship. So that just tells you right now that the grass is not greener on the other side. If you have that scholarship, you better treasure it, and you better give it all you have, because if you don't give it all you have, they're going to get someone to replace you. It is a business. No matter what they say, college sports is a business at every level. It was a business when I was at junior college in Florida. When we recruit a lot of Division I players, we had pressure to win, and when Del Rico, you can relate to that, and Mick, you can relate to it, and I'm sure Deontae has friends playing football. But if you decide to leave, say you're leaving Pitt or you're leaving another school, and you say, "Oh, I want to transfer," that coach doesn't want you back. You turn your back on that coach, please. He doesn't want you back. Okay, you already told him no, so he says, "I don't care. I'm going to get someone else." There's no way he's going to take a player back. So now you don't get another scholarship. You're out in the street. So you got to look to pay for your education after that. So you better think twice if you think the grass is greener on the other side.
That is the real deal right there. That's so true. That's so true, Coach. I agree.
Mark knows 100%. I mean, listen, you gotta cherish that thing, man. You don't take it for granted. So that's why, Didi, we gotta make the most of this last year and a half, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like we not taking anything for granted.
Right.
Because, and if you got young people out there, really do your homework when you researching these schools, so that you ain't going into a situation that you're unprepared for. Like, really do families, ask people. You around a bunch of people who have taken this ride, who have gone on visits, who have tried to study and learn about colleges. Ask if you don't know. Get the help that you need to get the answer, so your kid isn't in a situation 300, 400, 500 miles away from home, right, and has no clue how to handle that situation. I mean, I went 400 miles away from home, and was I prepared? That's why this show's called When the Lights Go Out. Definitely was not prepared. So that's why we having these conversations, so that if somebody hears us, they could talk to a young person and give them game, so that they are prepared. Because now, that stuff we didn't have to deal with. Mick didn't have to deal with back in the day, where, a transfer portal. Now it was you sticking this thing out. You got this scholarship, If you got to wait a year or two, that's what you're going to do. But you're going to grind and you're going to work. And we see a lot of people are entitled and they don't want to work really hard. They've been, patted on the back and told they were great for their whole life. So now it gets a little tough and they do a little running. So somebody like Didi, you stick to the plan, and you'll maneuver through all the BS, man. You have 5 stars who he was supposed to go to Kentucky. He was supposed to go to North Carolina, and they'll just keep falling off. They'll just keep falling by the wayside. And then it'll be somebody like you, Didi, standing in the end. And they'll be like, how he do 12 years in the NBA? That's how this thing works. That's really how it works. So if somebody's out there who needs help, Marcus is close to you. Mick is in the community helping people. Didi's there. Like, we building bridges to help each other. We can't send our young people off to college not being prepared for what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's big. That's big, Del Rico, because a lot of people haven't been through it, or they're scared to ask for the help that they need because they don't know how this process works, and they get taken advantage of throughout the process instead of them being the person taking advantage of the situation, because the world's in their palms at that time. So they have to be able to take advantage of it and do what's best for them, not for the universities. Because like Coach said, this is a business. They're in it on the business side of it. They don't really care about what really happens to you, the athlete. They're worried about their job. So you got to make sure you worry about you, that athlete. And like you said, we got so many people in the community that can help with that. Just ask. We're here to help. We're here to help.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think I'm gonna add to that. I think, as far as going to a smaller school like where Didi's at, I've been there before. So the main thing is you don't have the supportive services that other schools have, like the big schools, but you do have to fall back on your support back home. And like Fletch said earlier, you gotta find a support system outside of your teammates and stuff. You gotta try to talk to people on your campus, talk to some of the professors. Some even we call them townies, people from the the neighboring town. I tried to make friends with everyone. Because at times, especially when you're in a new environment, and it might be culture shock. Coming from Pittsburgh, where I went to Lock Haven, there was only 99 blacks on campus, so it was just like culture shock to me. Even though I went to Woodland Hills, where it was diverse, you had blacks and whites, but I went to Lock Haven, man. It was only 99 brown people. So,
yeah, you might be lying. There might have been 10.
You have to reach out to to people on campus, like Del Rico said, and reach out to your support system at home, man. Sometimes you just want to just hear people's voices, man. Don't give up, man. I'm telling you, it's so easy to give up, man. So easy.
And another lesson, Deontae can relate now, and Mickey and Del and Marcus, you can all relate to this. Okay? Every basketball player thinks all he has to do is score, and they think that's how they're going to get noticed. And there's so much more to the game. Okay, there's so much more they have to do, and maybe Deontae can just offer something here too. You better be able to play defense. You better be able to take charges. You better be able to go on floor for the loose balls. Coaches want toughness. They want guys that are going to do all the little extra, because not everyone is going to average 10, 12, 14 points a game. You may be only averaging 5 or 6 points a game, but what are you doing for your team to help them win? And coaches want players that are going to do all the little things. If coaches just had scores, they're not going to win any games. You have to play defense. You have to get back in transition. You have to rebound. You have to defend. You have to box out. You have to talk. Deontae can relate to that. Mickey, Del. Del, you played for me. You know how important all that is. But Deontae, you're on that. How much those little things are important in the game now, and it's not just scoring. You have to do everything else to help your team.
You definitely got to do a lot. I feel like even having a winning attitude will get you by, because if you just clap on your teammates, that's getting noticed automatically by coaches,
right.
By coaches all around, because you're genuinely happy for your teammates. You generally want them to succeed, and you want them to do good. So like a lot of people don't understand, like just having an attitude on the bench could really mess up your team chemistry, could mess up your team automatically. Like even like diving for loose balls can get your team hyped up. Like it can do anything. Like scoring is definitely not like the best thing of like a part of the game, because like my best feature to me is rebounding. Like I'm not even a pure scorer, like honestly, but like I can score if I need to, but like I just rebound for the team and like I do all the little stuff for the team. So, and just being a leader, like you should be a leader too on the court. Like so your teammates could have somebody to look up to, like when they really need it, because not everybody's the same. Not everybody can lead. So if you have the ability to lead, like I think you should just step up to that challenge. Like even though it's real hard.
Yeah, those are great points.
Let me say something from a Division I perspective. Let me say this. Most of the guys that went to Towson with me was all the leading scorers on their high school team. So if we all were the leading scorers, you have to be able to do something else to separate yourself to get on that floor. It may not be scoring. You may not have to be the scorer on that team. So from a Division I standpoint, you have to be able to do something else. Get assists for your teammates. Play defense. Go diving for loose balls. Bringing that energy on a nightly basis. You may not be that scorer. So what are you going to do to separate yourself so you can get on that floor and help the team win? And that's a big thing. Like one of the things that Coach said is everybody always just thinks it's just scoring to play this game. It's not just scoring. There's a lot of things you got to do to be able to get on the floor, especially at the collegiate level. Not even just Division I, collegiate period, as Didi can tell you.
Listen, there's a lot of things to do on the basketball court. And the new generation, I don't know, maybe it's me, but I didn't really like for other people to score on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I took offense to that. You're not just gonna have 30 on me. We're not going back to Rankin into the Village and they talking about you had 30 on me. Like there was some pride with playing defense. You see, the brother Alvin Brooks checked in, said I wasn't a scorer in high school, but I was a shot blocker. That's how I got to the Round Ball Classic. And shout out to Tap because he definitely played in the Round Ball Classic.
How you doing, Calvin?
Did you play in the Round Ball as well?
Who?
Did you play in the Round Ball Classic?
Yes, sir. One of the best experiences of my life. I played in the Round Ball in the feature game. It was PA versus the US. And we actually had the largest victory in Round Ball history. But let me say this. I'm going to give her a little. It wasn't actually the Round Ball. They changed the name my senior year because the guy that did the Round Ball and previously he didn't do it. He moved it to Detroit. But yeah,
he moved it.
Sonny Vaccaro. He moved the Round Ball, but it was still the Round Ball. It was what I grew up looking at. So it was played in the Civic Arena. It was one of the best experiences I had, and I was glad to be a part of it. Coach had a lot to help with that. He helped me get involved with that.
Yeah, I'll tell a quick story. Because I was in the top row watching Mick at the Round Ball. I was way up top. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had too much money, but I was in the building watching Woody High put on. And I know for me, this is what the thinking was because I had Mick in that game and I knew how good Terrell was, and then I eventually seen Melvin playing the Big 33. So I always wanted to be the first person from Woody High to be able to play in the Big 33 Classic and the Round Ball game. But they clipped the whole game my senior year. I was hot, man. I was hot, man. So, hey, Mick, I understand. You inspired me. I watched it from afar. I wanted to be just like you when it came to that. I'm like, yo, you playing against people from all over the country. This dude's like, so yeah, that was a dope experience, man. And I wish I could have played a part. What's up, Mark?
Hey, I remember. Hey, I can remember the layup line when Mick got a dunk off. Everybody went crazy because we never seen Mick dunk before. So Mick got a dunk in the warm up. We went crazy, man. So, just seeing Mick play on that Brown ball game, man, he was a superhero to me, man. So,
hey, let me tell a story about the round ball. Now, y'all say I was y'all inspiration. What people don't realize, you know who inspired me? Another Woody High guy, 50 Rub, Carlos Dixon, played in the round ball before me. A lot of people don't know that.
Carlos Dixon.
And I went to watch him. I went and watched him practice and everything. That's what inspired me to want to play in that game even more. I knew about the round ball, but going to watch him and watching his success, oh man, it was inspiring, especially with him coming from Woodland Hills. It made me inspired to want to do that also. So shout out to 50 Rub, Carlos Dixon, another Woody High guy.
Say that again,
Mark. He was going against C. Webb and them. And he was
I was going to say that. He was going against Juwan Howard, C. Webb, Jalen Rose is there.
Jalen Rose, yep.
So, listen, Didi, that's your bloodline. That's your bloodline, man. That's greatness, young fella. You know what I'm saying? Your bloodline. 50 was amazing in the post.
Yes.
Amazing. He had amazing feet in the post.
Do you know what his nickname was? What they called him? And it's in the round ball program. Baby Moses Malone.
Wow.
Baby Moses Malone. Wow. Yeah.
Shout out to 50, bro.
Listen, man. Shout out to 50. Not only is he not only was he a great ball player, but he's also a great person, a great person in the community, always been a positive role model. Shout outs to 50, man. We love you, man. Continue to get stronger, man.
Yeah, he was definitely going through some health issues, so we definitely throw prayers out there. 50, man, make sure you get right, baby, because we need you talking that trash, how you talk that trash on that court, man. We need that, man. Like, listen, this whole screen is filled with people who really touched me and Mark, who really helped us, who really inspired us. Coach has a 40 years worth of knowledge in basketball. Mick is still out there in the community helping people, and I seen you out there and you shouted his name out. So shout out to Mike Chansey as well.
Yeah, because
when you give up your time, and your effort and your energy, and you're away from your family, man, like, to me, that says more about you as a man and as a person, man. So all you fellas, man, Coach, Mick, Didi, you still grinding and keep grinding. And like he said, we going to be here for you. We giving flowers on when the lights go out. It's Thursday, 8 p.m. We got Coach Furjanic, Matt Furjanic, Coach at Robert Morris, Marist, Polk State, Woody High. He took us to Philadelphia in 1994-95 season. And we were really good.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I didn't know how good we were, but I know we had guys like Mike Johnson. We had Ian Johnson. We had Damian Hall. We had Michael Paul. Shout out to Michael Paul because he was checked in. We had Rich Dixon, Chris Edmonds, Sean Beasley. We had a nice basketball team, and
as part of the trip, we went to the Palestra. I took you guys to the Palestra, which is one of the most famous basketball arenas in the country, where Penn plays, where all the Big Five games used to be, and we practiced on that court, if you remember, the Penn Palestra.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I really listen, Coach, and that's why I brought it up, because the experiences. I mean, I remember going out to Philly, and Philly's known for basketball, and Pittsburgh, we known for football. And when we walked in there, it was St. Joe's Prep and Girard College.
Yeah.
I remember to this day. And Girard College, if anybody don't know, their school field is black everywhere. They might not have one white kid in the whole school. So, and the fans is rowdy. So we like, what is this going on? But make a long story short, we end up beating them really, really, really good. But this St. Joe's Prep team, when I'm talking about basketball, I mean, they played basketball. and Michael Paul can attest to this in the comments. They had a guard, Mick. Mick, this guard was hot. I mean, he had to go 9 for 9, 10 for 10 shooting threes. I was a young boy, so coach didn't put me on him because I ain't want to get cooked. He was cooking everybody. he was cooked. I mean, listen, he got Michael Paul, Kenny Lee. Shout out to Kenny Lee. I'm sorry, I didn't even mention Kenny Lee. I got another name for you. He was cooking. He cooked Jeff Wynn. He cooked everybody. and look, them is my brothers. I love them. That's why I'm bringing it up. But coach gave us experiences that, you know, we from 15104. Granted, we went to Woodland Hills, but those experiences were amazing. But shout out to the white kid from St. Joe's Prep because he cooked all of us. Coach, what was your feelings? How did you feel about being able to get us out of Woody High and get us to play in games and tournaments like that across the state where we was able to, you know, guys like Damian Hall, he ended up going to LaSalle, and Ian Johnson ended up going. So guys, you know, got exposure. So how as a coach, what's your thinking about getting your team exposure and trying to get your kids to get in front of other coaches so you could possibly get a scholarship?
Well, you know, we did a bunch of things, and you know, one of them is I remember, you know, one year when I had J.J. Haberfield and those guys and Kelvin, we went to the Wheeling Shootout, and we played in the Wheeling Shootout, which back then was run by Skip Prosser, who ended up being the coach at Wake Forest, who passed away a few years ago. And, you know, Skip was a good friend of mine, and he told us to, you know, he told me to bring your team down to Wheeling, and you're going to play great talent. And we drove a van down there 3 days in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In the summer, had a great experience. I always thought it was important to take the players on a trip where you're not only going to just play basketball, but you're going to experience a different culture. And in Philadelphia, you know, we went there and we toured the city. We went to Jim's Steakhouse on South Street, you know, most famous, you know, steakhouse in Philadelphia. We practiced at the Penn Palestra. So the game wasn't the only thing we went for. Okay. You know, we went for the experience of going to a city where, you know, if you remember too, we went to Independence Hall where they had the Declaration of Independence and the Liberty Bell.
Right.
As part of the tour. And then the following year, when I had the seniors, we went to play in Washington, D.C. We played Archbishop Carroll High School, which, you know, in the D.C. Catholic League was one of the great schools.
Yeah, they had Victor Page on that team.
Yeah, as part of that trip, we went to Arlington Cemetery. So we took the kids up to watch the changing of the guard, which was a wonderful experience. We went to a Smithsonian museum as part of the trip. And then we stayed at the hotel, Marriott, on the Beltway, and the Utah Jazz were in town and stayed at the same hotel. So the guys got to ride the elevator with John Stockton, Karl Malone, and some of the other guys. So that's the kind of trips you want to go on. You want to go on those kind of trips where, you know, you're going to make an experience for the players that are going to remember and they're going to learn, you guys were never there before, you know, and now, you know, okay, you see the Palestra on TV, you read about it. Hey, I practiced there, you know, you see the Liberty Bell. I saw that, you know, and then the guys the following year. So I always try to make it a point to go to a tournament where you're not only going to play basketball, but you're going to enjoy the city and the history of you know, the better cities in you know, in the country.
Yeah, like that. Listen, from a player's standpoint, when you able to mix in more than just sports, more than just what you're actually playing, and the kid could take something away from it and learn from it. That's why I liked when Mick, and I think Didi might have even played on those teams. When I would see pictures of Mick and Mike posting the guys up, and they was all over the place, man, just getting ball in, just playing, just hooping. I know basketball is one of those sports you just got to play. You want to get better, you got to shoot. You got to shoot and you got to shoot. That's why one of the reasons why I brought Didi on is because I work with his mother up at the Rankin Christian Center, and a lot of people know that's the same place. I was just like Didi. That's why I used to smile. And I would just watch him shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. And then I would watch the other kids leave, and then I would just hear one ball in the gym. Doosh, doosh, doosh. And I would look in there, and it's just him. So I knew the love. So anybody who's out there, young people, man, you don't want to play these games just to play them. You actually want to have some love for it and get something out of it. So parents, get your kids around people like Mick, around people like Coach, who going to show them that there's more than just the game. You could get way more from the game than just the playing of the game. There's so much attached to it. Like, that's why we got this show, because we're trying to show the arm length of the sports. We're trying to show how far our reach really is. I mean, I'm not in 15104 anymore, but my arm still reaches. My eyes are still there. My brother Mark's there. Mick, Didi, everybody's there. And I'm in a place where we can build and say, okay, I could send you out there because Fletcher's out there. I know you're going to have somebody that's there to look out for you, take care of you, show you the ropes, give you the advice you need. You know what I'm saying? Shake you up if you need it. Like, young boy, you going wrong. And we can't be afraid to do that anymore. There's a certain thing, and there's a certain way to talk to young people without stealing somebody's respect from them. But sometimes these young boys I remember getting bopped in the head, and it woke me up, and I went straight. Man, Coach cussed me out one time at practice. I mean, cussed me. I was having one of them Fletch temper tantrum moments, and Coach lit into me. I ain't have no more temper tantrum moments, man. So,
well, your last name. So the Fletchers that I knew all had little tempers on them too, but they were great athletes. But one thing I want to mention, Del, and you mentioned it, okay? We were blessed in Rankin to have the Rankin Christian Center. I grew up around the Rankin Christian Center. I would go every night. I mean, I lived at the center, okay? And we were so lucky. The center isn't as active now as with the youth that it was in the past, but that was a place for us to go and hang out. We didn't get in trouble because we went to the center and played ball. We played checkers down in the game room. We did different things there, okay? Books in the library. But we hung in the center every day. And if we weren't playing at the Hawkins Village in the daytime, we'd be at the center at night, okay? From September all the way through April. And then it was Hawkins Village in a day, and then we'd get in cars and go. But we were fortunate to have the Rankin Center. And I remember I used to go around, if I ever said something to my dad and I said I had nothing to do, he would just say, go to the center. That's all he told me, go to the center. And I am so thankful, because I also had mentors like Didi now can be a mentor. Mickey was a mentor. Del, you had mentors. My mentors were, I mentioned your uncle was the greatest athlete I think Rankin ever had, Johnny Fletcher. If he didn't hurt his knee, there's no doubt he would have been in the NFL. And he was 4 years older than me. My two mentors growing up were Don Dudley and Poochie Hester. I thank them today. I would not have be as successful in basketball if they did not take me under their wing, because they gave me an opportunity and picked me on a court when I was the only white kid down there. And you're on our team, Matt. And I learned I got a beating. They made me tough. They made me accountable. I had a job to do. It wasn't to turn the ball over. And they taught me many lessons about life. And I would go to their houses to eat lunch and get a drink of water, if I needed to. And we were just so close in Rankin. So, just like, you want to be a mentor to the younger players. Didi, go to Woodland Hills High School next year. Meet with the team. Go meet some of the players. Tell them your experience. That's what, Mickey, when Mick was there, I had some guys coming in to play before. And I did have Don Dudley come in and meet with them. And it's, thanks to Poochie Hester, Don, Greg Smith, killer. everybody knows Killer, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, he was one of my mentors. You know, I mean, he was my first assistant when I was in Denver Braddock, and God bless him, he helped me so much that I wouldn't been successful in coaching without people like him helping me when I was younger.
Awesome, man. Those names, Mr. Dudley, Mr. Hester. You name some, more people in the neighborhood, man, for sure.
Yes, you did. Hold on, Mick. Go ahead, Mick.
I was gonna say, Mr. Hester, Don Dudley, even from afar, and when they weren't like involved with the program or willing, they always came and spoke to me and had positive words and words of encouragement for me. So those are two guys that, they were big in the communities, Rankin,
Yes.
Braddock, and Swissvale.
Shout out to a lot of other men, Mr. Ponch, Pico, Mr. Harris. I mean, like we could go on for name and name so many people, and we will eventually get to all the names, that's for sure. And if you out there in the comments, man, Mr. Bruce, yes, that's the name that was in my head. Shout out to Mr. Bruce, man. Mr. Bruce used to tag me all the time, man.
Right.
But if you was attached to the Rankin Christian Center, please put the names that help influence you, because there's been so many names that we can mention that need their flowers and deserve their flowers.
And one thing I want to add about Kirk Bruce, okay? We are very, very good friends today. We're best friends. We always were. We grew up together in Rankin. If you guys know where the Rankin Police Station was, that's Old Hawkins Avenue. And Kirk lived right next to Emmanuel Church in Rankin. He grew up. He was Ian Johnson's dad, Robert, their first cousins, and he lived in the same house. Kirk will message me sometime and just say, Matt, I just drove my car through Rankin today just for the memories. I mean, here's a young man who left Rankin when he was about 9 years old, and grew up in Knoxville, up in the city, and he still treasures his days in Rankin. And, people don't know this, but his dad, Clarence Bruce, was on the Homestead Grays as the second baseman. And, people know now that Negro Leagues stats are going to be incorporated into the Major Leagues.
Major Leagues, yep.
So you're going to see Kirk Bruce's dad, Clarence Bruce's name in the Major League stats as soon as they, get all that done. And what a thrill it was. His dad was a wonderful person, and that's kind of people we had in Rankin, and Kirk just treasures his days in Rankin. Treasures.
Oh, hey, brother Mark, go ahead. You got a question, my brother.
Yeah, this is a question I always wanted to ask. Mick. As a matter of fact, Flex, me and you spoke on this the other day. Coach, this is for you and for Mick. Mick, when you were in your senior year, even your junior year, we've seen some of the guys that you played against, like Tom Pickens, Danny Fitz, Tino Hunter, all those guys, Deontae Calabria, all those guys were Division I bound. Coach and Mick, what were your mindset going into some of those games? Like, what were you think? What were you thinking that week and stuff like that? That's all I wanted to know, man.
What was we thinking? We gonna beat them.
Right.
That's what we were thinking. We for Woody High. Yeah, we for Woody High. Coach know that. Coach, whenever we went to the final, whenever we went to the semifinals, whenever we found out we was playing Laurel Highlands, what did me and you say to each other? We're gonna beat them. Laurel Highlands was #1 in the state, undefeated. They beat us early in the year. Me and Coach, when he told me we had Laurel Highlands, I looked at him like, oh, we're going to do something big. We're going to beat them.
Mick is the same. You hear how listen out there. If you don't have that passion, listen, you better get some, because he ain't played that game in 30 years.
Listen, and they better not sleeping, because he probably still bust their butt.
I'm telling you. That's one thing I learned about Coach. Coach was laid back, and he wanted to win.
He's a competitor. He's a competitor.
So
I don't like when they say, it's I forget the term they use nowadays. It's win or learn. Okay, I hate that. It's you don't see a score on a scoreboard, points under learn. you see home and opponents. So it's win or lose, okay? I mean, you can learn in the win as much as you learn in the loss. And Mick, what was the kid's name? Laurel Highlands, who was a great player that year.
Nick Bosnick.
Nick Bosnick.
He went to Maryland.
Had a nice career at Maryland. I'm going to tell you something. They were ranked #1 in the Whippeal that year. And I told the kids we're going to beat them. I said we're going in this game to win. And I tell you what, Chad Corley put a defensive effort on Nick Bosnick. Nick Bosnick still having bad dreams.
Cool.
Okay.
That was the cool.
Chad just D'd him up with toughness. Didn't let him score. Didn't let him touch the ball. Banged him. Kept him off the boards.
Cool.
And he had a great up.
Shout out to Cook.
Cookie's man.
Shout out to Chad Corley.
Cook may have been one of the best defensive players I ever covered.
Wow. Yes, he was.
Tough. And he was a winner. He was a winner. That's one
We've
thing
seen it every day firsthand at the Rankin Christian Center. And if you ain't never been in the Rankin Christian Center, it ain't but 5x5. So if you can't score, if you ain't physical, you ain't getting no points in that place, man. Cook was a stopper. When you talk about stopping people, he was strong. He had long arms. He was tough. He ain't care nothing about it. That's just the way it was, man. Listen, fellas, when the lights go out, episode number 4. It's been amazing. I just want to pass it around real quick to let everybody get their last thoughts. I'm hyped up over here. I'm sweating. I feel like we was hooping. Mick just got hyped real quick because that's that competitor in you. But we're gonna start it off with Didi, man. Give us some last thoughts as you leave us, man. Let us know your Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and just give some words for some young people that's out there.
For everybody out there, I want y'all to don't be afraid to come on this show and talk about your story. This is why they got this platform. It's for so young people can learn like how to really step up and talk about their life and talk about their issues. Because like not everybody has a support system. You just got to go out and find it. And like I just feel like this was a blessing to be on here. Like I appreciate y'all for reaching out, having me on here. It was amazing to talk to everybody, just laugh and giggle and everything and talk about a game we all love. So this was a beautiful thing, and I hope to be on here another time, talk about a different subject or whatever. Just to be on here again, though. I would love to be on here again. Give a shout out to your mom, man. Let's oh, yeah. Shout out to the family. Shout out to my mom for sure. She the one who got me like this. So everything y'all see, just thank her for it. I thank her every day.
Shout out Lon. Shout out Lon. Shout out your grandmother.
Sister Carol.
Shout out the whole family.
Sister Carol is a legend. Let her know she made the show. Yep. Sister Carol made the show. She's a legend. Listen, you come from good stock, brother. Listen,
yes, you do.
From me and Mark, man, we appreciate you. We know you at school. Good luck with the finals. You and all the fellas, man. If y'all need us in any way, Didi, don't hesitate, brother. You don't have to guess. You don't have to assume. If you think anything is off and you need answers with it, young fella, holla at us, man. The door is open 24/7, man, forever. We know you got good family support, but sometimes, man, it's good to have men who walk that path that you on to be able to give you game, man. We'll thank you. Coach, go ahead and give us some game before we close out, Coach.
Well, I want to give a shout out to, first of all, Deontae's mother too, who was so wonderful to me last year when I, got the job at Woodland Hills, and not only her, but Lon and Sean, his two brothers, that bought in and did a great job for us. Dale, you, Marcus, it's been a while since I've talked to you guys, and it's so wonderful. It brings back so many memories. Mick, my love for Mick is there's nothing like it. I mean, Mick and I have stayed in touch very, very close over the years. And, when you have special players in your life that you coached and that turned out to be the husbands, the fathers, the mentors, the coaches, that they become. It just makes you so proud. And to everyone from Rankin, that's my hometown. That's where I grew up. I lived there 50 years. And if anyone wants to hear good basketball stories, just come back. And if you see me standing in Lucky's parking lot, park the car, because if Big Tree is there, Greg Webster and Dwayne Todd and Glenn Corley stops by, I guarantee you we're talking basketball. And then I see Paul's name coming up here. Michael, you were a great guard, and let's not forget how good of a coach his dad was. He was Darren Poindexter's coach at Boyce and developed Darren to get Darren that scholarship at Robert Morris. So his dad deserves a lot of credit too for being one of the best coaches in the area. So, and Kelvin's name shows up. I mean, Kelvin, you were just you had a lot of heart when you played, man. You were you just did a great job. And I mean, all the guys at Woody High, it was a dream to go back to their coach. And I said, I knew all your families.
Hey, Coach,
so,
let me ask you a question on a lighter note, Coach. Yeah. Let me ask you a question before we close out. Coach. It was 94-95 playoffs, and we ranked number 1 in the Whippeal. Yeah. And we playing against Ringgold. Did Damian Hall shoot us out the game, Coach?
Damian was another player that he was just an overachiever, and he did a great job when he went to LaRoche, and he had a great career at LaRoche. But Damian's coach now, Matt Driscoll, is a coach at the University of North Florida. And every time I talk to Coach Driscoll, he asked me, how's Damian doing? And, I think anybody that Damian played for has the same feeling about him. But it was just wonderful, sharing these stories, and brings back a lot of memories. And, they say you never forget the kids you grew up with. Those are always your best friends. And that's how I feel about everyone in the, in the area. That's where my heart is. It's always going to be. And, I hope to see you guys around.
Hey,
like
Coach,
I said, my car's
I hope you wasn't still calling Indiana at Polk State, Coach. Coach, you cannot call Indiana no more, Coach.
No, they kicked our butt when I was at Robert Morris, but then we already, then the following year we ended up winning our first NCAA game. Robert Morris's first win. We beat Georgia Southern, and then we lost at the buzzer to Purdue down in Tampa at the University of South Florida Dome. So we gave it a good run the second year, and a lot of that was credit to Bob Knight. After the game, he came in the locker room, talked to my guys at Robert Morris, and told them, don't be happy being here, come here to win. And the players carried that over to the following year. And of course, I just rode the bus with them. I was along for the ride, and they did a great job. And I was very fortunate to coach a great bunch of guys at every stop I've had in my coaching career.
Yeah, Coach, we really thank you, Coach, man.
No doubt.
Like, we can't say it enough. This platform was created so that, me and Marcus could tell our stories, but also let people know, like Didi said, that, don't be afraid to tell your story, because a lot of times when you tell it, you can fix certain things that you need fixed. You can heal past traumas that you never knew that you had. You can be better prepared for when the lights go out. So that's what this is about. We all play a sport where the lights are on, but someday those lights are going to be cut off. And
that's right.
Are we prepared? Are we ready? Have we done enough stuff to dig in our bag to move on to another playing field, to another school like Didi, to a job? You know what I'm saying? Are we prepared? So listen,
you guys, Coach, I don't want to interrupt y'all, but you guys know the story about John Thompson, right? Coach Thompson, great coach at Georgetown, used to have a basketball on his desk, and it was the deflated basketball. And he would bring recruits in, and everyone knows the success he had in graduating all the players that he did. But he would give the player the basketball, and he'd say, I want you to bounce it. And the player would bounce, and of course, the ball never bounced up. And his teaching lesson in that is, what are you going to do when you can't play basketball anymore? One of those days, you're not going to bounce that basketball. And I'm going to prepare you for life. And that's and that's exactly what you guys have done. And Marcus, I want to throw a shout out about Little League. We said we were going to bring it up, so I'm going to bring it up. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, in Swissville, you know, we had the experience. I was, you know, with you,
Yes,
and
sir.
but you know, you have to be prepared the day that you can't bounce that ball no more. You can't play the game forever, and
Right.
someday you're going to, you know, it may be in your high school career. Use sports now to prepare you for life. Learn how to deal with adversity. Learn how to be a part of a team. Learn how to be a leader. Learn how to contribute. Learn how to, you know, work together for a common goal. Those are the things that you're going to learn as a high school player that's going to help you in life. And you know, and then in college, okay, if that's the end of your career, if you're lucky, fortunate enough, like Dell did to get that year of, you know, in NFL in, then that's the end of his career. But you know, all you guys are doing great, and Dee, same thing with you. Okay, prepare for the day that your basketball career is over. What are you going to do? How are you going to get back? You know, what are you going to do? And Mick, you know, man, you know, my guy. But you know, that's you know, that's what it's all about. Okay, like you said, when the lights go out. Okay, and I love that term. I don't know what you guys thought about it, but I love it. So,
Hey, Coach, don't. No, hey, Coach, don't be trying to steal my term, Coach. Now,
I'll give you the royalties.
no, but listen, last but definitely not least, like I opened the show and I told this brother really how much he really meant to me, and I truly, honestly, and I really meant it. Like I truly, honestly, I really looked up to him. I really respected the way that he went about his business and about the way he carried himself. And then he gives some insight on, you know, him getting it from Dex. So that kind of thing has been passed down. And then we hoping Didi, we know Didi got it, and Didi's going to pass it down to the next generation. But Mick, man, give us some words of wisdom. Give the young people some game to hold on to before we close it up out of here, my brother.
Well, I'm gonna keep it in the Woodland Hills family since we are Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills has a rich history. So for the young kids, go learn that history. It's always important to learn where you come from and where you're at. So learn that history. And then I want to give a little bit of knowledge to the old guys like us. Go give that history and give that knowledge back to the young kids. Let them understand, you know, where we were and how we got to where we got to, so they can follow us and go to them same places. It's a lot of history. Like Didi knows from whenever I was coaching him a little bit. I always told them the only thing I want back from them is to come back and give back. Just like me and Coach Mike did, and Coach Mills and Coach Furjanic and Del Rico and Mark. I want y'all to come back and give that same information for the younger people after them. And that's basically it for me, man. Like I bleed turquoise, black, and white. That's me. Can't nobody put nothing else on me. I ain't eager to go nowhere else. And Didi knows it. This is us, man. Let's keep this family together. Let's help each other grow from it, and do a lot of positive things, because a lot of positive things could come from this. And I appreciate you, Del Rico. I appreciate you, Mark, for putting this together. It's bigger than what you really know, and keep it going. Much love, brothers. Just like y'all love me. Y'all kept me going when I got older, watching y'all success. So I was loving it too. So keep it going, and much love, fellas. I appreciate y'all.
When you would come home, Mick, and we was putting on, and we got the stamp, like, oh, y'all killing, y'all good, like that makes you feel good, man. That like, yeah, like the stamp from the OGs on your back, like, yeah, what you doing is you killing them, man. So listen, fellas, Mark, you go ahead and give your thoughts, brother.
Hey, I just, it's a blessing, man, to be, in these guys' company, man. And like they said, we bleed turquoise and black. But the main thing is, this is a message to Woodland Hills. This could go to the administrators. This could go to the coaches. Listen, you got to reach out to us. We got a lot of knowledge. You got to let us get in there. You got to let us get in there and talk to these kids because these kids need us. Get away from the politics. Stay away from the politics. Some of these people never even step foot in our neighborhoods and they're running stuff. So I'll be the bad guy. I'll say, allow us to help our kids, period. We love y'all. Thanks for everything. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Hey, when the lights go out.
Thanks, Mick. We love y'all, man.
Every Thursday, 8 p.m., when the lights go out. Every Thursday, check us out. We want to thank Coach Furjanic. We want to thank Deontae Robertson, Deontae Robertson. We want to thank Mick, Michael Keys. Mick, you was a blessing for our community, brother. We love you, man. We love all of y'all. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. If you got young people in your life and they need some help and you need to talk to them and they're looking for some advice, reach out. That's what the platform is for. There's a bunch of men up here, especially single parent moms. I came from that. So if you got men who are trying to reach out to help you, to try to put in some of the missing pieces, it ain't got nothing to do with judgment, nothing. It's about the end result of these young people. So reach out to everybody. When the lights go out, we love you. Every Thursday, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Shout out to Dave State.
Yes, sir.
Nightdale Hustle. Nightdale
Love
Hustle.
y'all, man. Love y'all. Thanks for having y'all.
We love y'all. See y'all next Thursday. We don't own the rights to the music, but this one is whoop. Peace.
Stay on.